Dylan, I've come all the way to Austin, Texas to come see Starhawk in action. You're the president of Lightbox. What is happening in this game?
Oh man, what isn't happening in this game? We've got fantastic, fast-paced third-person action. Characters, vehicles, aircraft, massive vistas, big landscapes. But really, most importantly, is build and battle. It's a system that allows players to select structures, not just towers, but walls and bunkers and garages and things that you might typically associate it with a real-time strategy game. You can build in a very fast-paced third-person shooter.
Dylan, set up what's happening for me in this universe that Starhawk takes place in.
Right. So we're trying to set up an alternate fantasy kind of Western feel. So what you've got is mankind going out to the frontier of space, the distant edges of space, and they're looking for rift energy, these weird dimensional portals that are incredibly potent energy sources. So it's kind of like a new gold rush. They rush out to all of these places where these geysers are happening. And they become rift miners. It's like an occupation. It's incredibly dangerous. And really what it comes down to is they are trying to make a claim for themselves, just like in the gold rush. They're trying to get, they refer to it as blue gold.
Rig away. Coming to you, Emmett.
But unfortunately, the very element that they are so desperately trying to get is so dangerous for them. Because if they're exposed to rift energy, they usually die. And if they don't die, they suffer a fate worse than death because they become mutated into these outcast creatures. The flesh kind of pulls away from their body, the skeleton inflates and becomes armor, and they become shunned and they go mad. They worship the rifts. And so really that's kind of the core of the conflict in the game. Rift miners trying to pillage and harvest rift energy, and the once human outcast trying to protect it at all costs.
Now, in this game, in the single-player mode, we play as someone who's kind of been exposed to the Rift energy, is kind of a mutant, but not quite a bad guy. So who are we?
All good heroes are a shade of gray, and that fits well within our Western reference. Emmett Graves has some inner demons, figuratively and literally. He was a rifter when he was young. He was at a work site when there was an accident, and he was hit with rift energy, and you can see that on his arm. It was only through the ingenuity of his gearman, Cutter, they were able to go through and do a horribly dangerous procedure and implant this experimental rift regulator into his spine. You can actually see it on the character. So he kind of wakes up every day wondering, is today my last day as a human? And that's incredibly bitter for him because part of the other aspect of the story, Emmett has a brother. They were both at the same claim when it was attacked by the outcast warband. Emmett was hit on his right side, so he was wounded, but not totally damaged. His brother Logan, unfortunately, was completely splashed, and he has become an outcast warrior. And so the solo player campaign in Starhawk sees Emmett and Cutter, who are rift salvagers. They take a job on White Sands that ends up pitting them against Emmett's brother.